The 60th quadrennial presidential elections of United States of America are scheduled to be held on 5th of November 2024. People of U.S. will elect a president and vice president for a term of 4 years. 17 people are running for president in 2024, from which 13 are Republicans, 3 are Democrats, and 1 third-party candidate. But most of them are laboring under the shadow of the same 2 men who faced off in 2020, President Biden and former President Donald J. Trump. Though a dozen Republicans are challenging Donald Trump, he is far ahead of any of them in polls. Only 8 candidates aside from Mr. Trump met even the low bar of 1% support in enough polls to qualify for the first debate, and the bar for subsequent debates will be higher. On the Democratic side, Joe Biden has drawn just 2 long-shot challengers. The Republican presidential candidates are all vying to take on President Joe Biden in November 2024. But first, they're competing in the GOP primaries and caucuses, which begin in January, to emerge as the party's nominee. Before we proceed, kindly return the favor and like and subscribe. Also, consider supporting the work we do by joining our Patreon. You can also buy me a coffee, link in the description and channel bio. Joe Biden announced his candidacy for the 2024 presidential election on April 25, 2023. He won the 2020 presidential election on November 3, 2020, with 306 electoral votes. Biden's campaign has highlighted the work of his administration, including the creation of new jobs, the passage of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021, and the United States CHIPS and Science Act, and the provisions of the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 that addressed climate change and allowed Medicare to negotiate prescription drug prices. A Biden campaign had outlined his policy priorities for a second term, saying he'd work to make child care and elder care more accessible, protect Social Security and Medicare, enact a minimum tax for billionaires, codify the right to abortion, ban assault weapons, and support voting rights. On the other hand, former President Donald Trump launched his bid to reclaim the White House in November 2022, aiming to become only the second commander-in-chief to win 2 non-consecutive terms. Trump continues to deny the outcome of the 2020 election he lost to Joe Biden. He was twice impeached by the U.S. House of Representatives, including for his role in inciting the deadly January 6, 2021, insurrection at the U.S. Capitol following his electoral defeat. Trump has said that if he wins another term, he would overhaul key factions of the federal government and slash social safety net programs. He has also vowed retribution against his political opponents. Other presidential candidates of Democratic Party are Marianne Williamson and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Marianne Williamson announced her candidacy for the 2024 Democratic presidential primary on February 23, 2023. She previously ran as a Democratic candidate for President of the United States in 2020. During her campaign, she qualified to participate in the first 2 Democratic primary debates. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced his candidacy for the 2024 Democratic presidential primary on April 5, 2023. Kennedy is an author and lawyer who has worked in environmental and healthcare-related law. He is the son of former U.S. Attorney General and Senator Robert F. Kennedy and the nephew of President John F. Kennedy. There are many other candidates for president from Republican Party apart from Donald Trump. Ron DeSantis launched a bid for president in May 2023. DeSantis has said he is running to reverse the decline in America and to offer a new generation of leadership for the country. Vivek Ramaswamy launched his outsider campaign for the presidency in February 2023, focused on combating woke ideology, exposing government corruption, and ushering in a younger generation of voters into the Republican Party. Mike Pence is running as a traditional conservative, seeking to manage the U.S. debt, shrink the federal government, increase domestic energy production, and maintain support for U.S. allies abroad. He has been outspoken about his Christian faith and his opposition to abortion and gender transition treatment for minors. Pence launched his campaign in June 2023. Nikki Haley launched her presidential campaign in February 2023, calling for a new generation of leadership in the Republican Party. Her campaign has heavily focused on economic responsibility, national security, and strengthening the southern border. Tim Scott, the only black Republican in the Senate, entered the presidential race in May 2023, touting himself as a principled conservative with a distinctively hopeful and optimistic message. Chris Christie announced his second presidential campaign in June 2023 at a town hall in New Hampshire, drawing stark contrast with former President Donald Trump. On the campaign trail, Christie has touted his willingness to take on Trump directly, repeatedly hitting the GOP frontrunner on his looming legal troubles and foreign policy, among other key issues. Doug Burgum, who launched his bid for the presidency in June 2023, has made the economy, energy, and national security the focus of his campaign. He wants to lower inflation, push the U.S. to be energy independent, and secure the southern U.S. border. Asa Hutchinson announced his presidential campaign in April 2023, seeking to appeal to the best of America. He calls for cutting federal spending and workforce, strong border security, reforms to federal law enforcement. He supports Ukraine in its war against Russia and is against American isolationism. Larry Elder launched his bid for the Republican presidential nomination in April 2023, pointing to securing the border and combating criticism that the United States is systemically racist among his reasons for running. His campaign has also raised topics such as school choice, limiting federal spending, and countering the epidemic of fatherlessness. Will Hurd of Texas entered the race for Republican presidential nomination in June 2023 as an outspoken critic of former President Donald Trump. Hurd said he was running because the U.S. needs common-sense leadership to tackle generational defining challenges, including inflation, China's global influence, artificial intelligence, and children's low scores in math, science, and reading. Perry Johnson, who built a personal fortune through his company that certified whether businesses had met industrial standards, launched his presidential bid in March 2023, hours after appearing on stage at the Conservative Political Action Conference. Johnson is relatively new to politics. He ran for Michigan governor in 2022, but was kept off the ballot after the state's elections. Bureau determined his campaign had submitted thousands of invalid signatures on his nominating petition and did not meet the minimum to qualify. Cornel West is Green Party presidential nominee who announced his candidacy for the 2024 presidential nomination on June 5, 2023. West is an academic and activist who serves as the Dietrich Bonhoeffer Chair at Union Theological Seminary. Donald Trump is polling even with President Joe Biden in a likely 2024 rematch, sparking mixed feelings among Democrats. Some are alarmed by the neck-and-neck race, while Biden campaign officials and other allies downplay the recent polls as meaningless this early in the cycle. A CNN poll found Trump leading Biden by 1 point, 47% to 46%. A Wall Street Journal survey found them tied at 46% each. A New York Times Siena College poll taken in late July found Biden and Trump tied at 43% apiece. The former president is currently polling stronger against Biden than he did at any point in 2020, when he trailed by as many as 10 points and never came within 3 points in the 538 average. Two factors appear to be driving the close race. The first is apprehension within Biden's base. The second is that the polls show Biden significantly underperforming recent elections with non-white Americans, mainly Black and Latino voters. Polls show Biden's non-white support eroding. Those findings caught the attention of the Trump campaign. Biden campaign officials say the best barometer for the contest is the 2022 midterms and recent special elections, where Democrats have overperformed and held their ground in key states. Trump's post-presidential office is hiding in plain sight. Trump's allies say the polls solidify his frontrunner position in the Republican primary and undercut GOP rivals and elites who argue that he has too much baggage to win a general election. Things can change quickly for the party, which can mobilize more people on election day. Let's see. And now, let us hear from you in the comments section below. Keep in mind that more videos will be up soon, so be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell in order to stay up to date with new video uploads. Also, sharing indicates you want to see our content reach a wider audience. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.